Okay, I've got double microphones going on. I'm holding a microphone, I'm wearing a microphone. Hopefully we'll get you the best audio we can. We may have to mute this. I've gone live now. Let me know if it's coming through okay. I may have to do the handhold microphone. The red flower, it's a poppy. It's for Remembrance Day, which is going to be on Friday, on the 11th, is Remembrance Day. So it's to remember those people who have lost their lives or been affected by war. Good morning. Let me know how I'm sounding here. I need to know. I need to know if the audio is working. I don't know if it's going to be this microphone or that microphone that sounds better, so we may have to ditch one of them so you get the best audio quality possible. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service. I'm answering questions here in the lobby of Centennial College at the Morningside campus. We're talking to students, faculty, people who are dropping by to say hello. Yeah, we're answering their questions, but we're answering your questions too. So if you've got traffic and police questions, this is where you ask them. Use the Q&A function. We're only on TikTok today. It's just for you. And normally we'd be on other platforms, but no, not doing that. Just you today, just TikTok. And good morning, Emma. Good morning, Aaron. Is it sounding good from this, or is it sounding good from there? Because I have two microphones on. I want to make sure that I give you good sound quality because it's echoey in here, really echoey. Not so good. But thank you for the feedback. Okay, I'm going to check here to see what's going on in the Q&A. Anything in the Q&A? No, nothing there yet. So we've been hanging out at different campuses. This is the third one. We went to the Ashtonby. I keep wanting to calling it Ashtonby, but it's Ashtonby. We were on the I forgot what the first one was. Progress campus was on Monday. Ashtonby yesterday. Tomorrow we're at a different one, which is an arts campus location that I can't think of the name of. And then on Friday we're going to be at Downsview. So we're going to all the different campuses in conjunction with the fine folks from their security department talking about traffic safety, because it affects students. It's about being safe on our roads as well as on the campus grounds. Is it echoey? Maybe I'll try taking this one off. Let me see if I turn this one off. See if it gets better or worse. So it'll take about 15 seconds until you see the difference. But now I'm only on the handheld microphone. Maybe it'll sound better. We'll see. This is probably better at isolating sound. What do you think? Better? A little bit better. We've got the crew here to determine. This is cleaner. Same. Okay. I don't know. I should maybe have both of them. Maybe not. Oh, it's better. I'm told it's better. We'll leave the other one off then. Do I want to get fancy? Hold on, maybe I'll turn off the conserve batteries here. I'm going to turn off B. Group B, is it B turning off the wireless mic? Okay, one of the wireless mics. All right, if things change, we'll turn things around and do it differently. But here we go. Lauren says boomer. Is that supposed to be a dig? When they say boomer, is that calling me old? I think it is. Yeah, you can't offend me, sorry. But I am an old dude who knows stuff, and I'm here to share that knowledge with anyone who wants information about traffic safety, traffic law, police stuff in general. Michaela wants to know if having a wreath on my grill, is that okay? Yes, it's entirely okay. As long as you're not obscuring your license plate, you can be all festive if you like. Nothing wrong with that. What is this? Can I roll down windows if cop checking for tint? You can roll down windows, but if I'm checking for tint, you may have to roll up your window because you actually have to comply with tests. If we're checking to see if your vehicle will comply, if you don't, we can charge you for that as well. But yeah, we check things. We look at stuff. We want to know things. Hey, if you're new to the channel, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service. I go onto social media, today just TikTok, but generally YouTube and the whole business, talking about traffic safety and answering your questions. Somebody wants to know if I can, two questions. They want to know if I make money from TikTok. Only my salary. I don't get paid by TikTok to be on TikTok. And then somebody else wants to know if they can join our live. And the answer is no. We don't take guests on. We are a police service. This is an official a channel. So if we don't know you, we don't put you on here. All right. Which police service is hiring? In Ontario, pretty much all of them. If you're interested in becoming a member of the Toronto Police Service, we are actively pursuing the hiring thing where we make you a cop. Yeah, if you have applications in or if you're interested in applying, tps.ca/careers for more information. And yeah, apply. It's possibly the best time to join just because we have so many people who are aging out, they're retiring. So getting in and this is the perfect time. Neil, is it Neil? Neil wants to know, is it legal to drive with one hand? Well, it's not illegal to drive with one hand as long as you can do it safely. We got somebody enjoying a sandwich behind me. Yeah, you can drive with one hand. If you can't control the vehicle with one hand, it could be careless driving. No hands is obviously careless driving. Driving with your knees is not okay. But one-handed is pretty normal, pretty cool. Suboptimal, better with two. Michaela follows up saying, my wreath has lights on it. Is that okay? Depends on the color of the lights. If they're just accent lights and they're white or yellow, they're fine. If you have flashing lights, that's illegal. Red especially is prohibited. Can't have red to the front. So if you have red Christmas lights on that wreath, technically illegal. Will someone give you a hard time about it? That depends on the officer. Can I fight driving while suspended if I didn't know? No. You're still driving while suspended, and you ought to have known, and you are deemed to have known after a certain period of time, regardless if you know. So, generally speaking, if it was sent in the mail and you weren't aware, you'd probably be notified of that suspension roadside, and you may or may not be charged. It depends on the officer. So you can always fight, but whether you will win is a different story. Is it legal to modify a vehicle with turbo? Are you saying you want to modify a turbo vehicle to be different than turbo, or do you want to add turbo to a non-turbo vehicle? Either one is legal as long as you are conforming to the rules and regulations. There are legal turbo kits. So you have to make sure that you are you're conforming. So there you go. Divine wants to know, can international students be cops? You have to be a permanent resident or a Canadian resident in order to become a police officer here. And at the end of the day, if you're here studying and become a permanent resident in that process, you could, in fact, join at that time. And I'm glad they clarified it. They meant eat. Can you watch and drive? No, I got that. I picked up what you were putting down, and the answer is yes, you can, as long as it doesn't negatively impact your ability to safely operate your motor vehicle. So if you're eating a 3-course meal, no, not okay. You've got to be focused on the task at hand, which is driving safely. But if you are taking a bite out of a sandwich, taking a sip of coffee, that's not against the rules. You're allowed to do that. But it has to be done safely. And is it advised? Is it suggested? Do we endorse it? You're better off not doing it, but it's not illegal. What is this? Why 401 is always stuck? Please do something. Do you mean it's got traffic and it's not moving quickly? It's just volume. Well, first of all, the 401 isn't my jurisdiction. That's the Ontario Provincial Police. They handle that. So talk to Kerry Schmidt. He can hook you up, make it go faster. Can you floor it to the speed limit? I'll never understand why people want to do that. If you want to go fast, take it to the track. If you want to drive safely and legally, well, then don't drive to the speed limit as fast as you can. That's just not a safe driving practice. Could it be stunt driving? Yes, it could. Could it be careless driving? Absolutely. It depends on the officer's observations. But you know what happens when you do things that are out of the ordinary, when you floor it and people are assuming that you're going to do something? Maybe somebody who's hearing impaired doesn't hear your engine revving up. Well, when you hit them, or they fall down as a result of diving out of the way because you created a panic situation, well, you're responsible for that. All right. Do you have to have a light above your rear plate? Absolutely, you do. It is required to have a light, a white light. That's the only color you can have on your license plate. And in Ontario, it's 3 lumens of power. Just saying. I happen to read that line, and I remember it. It'll never get out of my head. You have to have it. If you change the color, you'll get a ticket for improper. If you don't have one, it's improper. And $110 fine for not having that light. If you're new to the channel and you don't follow us, please do. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service. I am currently standing in the Centennial College Morningside campus. Is this a common area? What is this area called? Is this a common area? What do you call this area? Is this the common area? The common area on level 100. Okay. So, yeah, we talk about traffic safety, traffic law, police stuff in general. We talk about recruiting and hiring, and we don't really talk about firing, but we talk about everything. Whatever you want to know, we can talk about it. We have our specialty in traffic. That's the focus of what we do here. But throw us your questions. We'll see what we can do. Question from Neha. Hi, Neha. Long time no see. I met Neha. I think this is the Neha that I know, but we met at Humber College. So the question is, who can teach a G1 driver? And that is a fully licensed G-class driver with 4 years of experience. That 4 years of experience has to be counted or credited by the what do we call it? The Ministry of Transportation. Hang on one second. Yeah, Ministry of Transportation will give you 4 dots in the bottom right-hand corner next to your Mini-Me photo. if you are qualified. But that your experience can start when you get a G2. So the 4 years of experience is when you get your G2, and then it continues from there. Is there leniency on going 10 over? Do you mean will you not get a ticket for 10 over? Depends on the officer. Some officers, like myself, will write you a ticket for 10 over, depending on where you are. Like, I'll write you a ticket for 5 over if it's a 30 kilometer an hour zone. 1 kilometer an hour? No, I won't write you at 1 for 1, 2, 3. No. In a 30 kilometer an hour zone, if you were doing 5 over in a 30, I'd write you a ticket because you shouldn't be doing it. And 10 over, 15 over all day long, I'll write you a ticket for that. It really depends. If you're doing 10 over on the highway, you know, the officers that are policing there might say that 10 over is not enough. They want someone doing 20 over or 30 over. So the rule is speeding, or the law says speeding even 1 kilometer is against the law. Is there leniency? I can't guarantee it, and I wouldn't suggest it. Really, you should be going at or below the speed limit. Are dirt bikes legal in closed parking zone? Well, dirt bikes are legal on private property or trails, but not public property. And certainly a parking zone is private property, but you need permission of the owner to use it. Otherwise, you're going to look into a couple of problems. 1, Trespass to Property Act. And 2, if you're doing wheelies or anything that could be classified as stunt driving, you'd be eligible for stunt driving tickets even on private property. What is this? No chase policy with motorcycles? ? No plate, no chase. No, you're wrong. There's no such thing as a no chase policy. There is a very clear direction that, depending on the offense and measuring that against public safety, will determine whether or not a chase is reasonable. At the end of the day, what happens with idiot drivers who run from the police, especially those on motorcycles with no plates, and I say idiot because that's what that kind of behavior is. It's stupid. They put their lives at risk and tend to get into collisions and hurt themselves, if not end their own lives, when running from the police. So if you're going to be a grown-up and drive a vehicle, act like a grown-up, and when you get caught for something, pull over. But have your plates visible and don't do stupid things. I really have an issue with people who bring up questions about breaking the law and a criminal element, because running from the police is criminal. It's not just, I got a speeding ticket or I ran a light. We're talking about get arrested. Okay, is it justifiable to beat a child who misbehaves? Beating a child is not permitted. That is, beating someone, a child or otherwise, is criminal. If you're talking about giving someone a spank on the bum, as a parent or someone who is doing that, it is legal. You're allowed to give someone a corrective measure. You can't beat them. You can't harm them. It's different than giving someone a slap on the bum. And it's also a controversial topic, but criminal code would differentiate the two. Someone says, get a real job, mate. Well, I appreciate that. And you're funny, Lewis. I say that because I love my job, and I'm a media relations and media officer for the Toronto Police Service. I'm a traffic officer and a police officer. So I don't know if you're digging me for being on TikTok or digging me for being on, in a uniform. But if you've got a problem with the police, I'm assuming you're someone who's up to no good. Okay. Is it a crime to shoot people with fireworks? Absolutely. You'd be assaulting them. If you're shooting at a police officer, that's a major problem. That's someone who might shoot back. Are wide tires on a Jeep illegal if the tire goes? So that's an incomplete question, but yeah, if your tire protrudes from the fender flare or fender, yeah, it's illegal. It has to be covered by fender, a fender extension, and mud flap. Has to be both. So those would all be improper tires. We see a lot of it on the road. Why do we see so many of them? Well, it's because it's not the focus of our efforts. We are out there trying to focus on driver behavior that leads to serious injury and death. And that is going to be the people who are speeding, driving aggressively, driving distracted, driving impaired. Do we also enforce, improper tires? Sure we do. But the other ones are our focus. That's what we're looking for all the time. Why officers do 69 donut meeting at Tim's? I don't know what you mean by 69. Do you mean where we drive driver door to driver door? That's so we can talk, because we're finishing up reports, having a coffee, and it's better than yelling through the passenger side. What is this? How you gone specialized in traffic have you seen roads? Rachel, I don't know what your question means. I became a specialist in traffic. I had volunteered as a traffic officer with the auxiliary police. I went on to primary response at 12 Division when I got hired. I worked in the courts. I'd done a whole bunch of different things, and then I volunteered. I requested to come back to traffic because I'm passionate about it. I have my G1. I have my G1. Am I legally allowed to drive a bike? You can ride a bicycle, but you can't ride a motorcycle. A G1 is for cars and vehicles that are covered under that classification. And M1 is required for a motorcycle. So go take that test. Get both of them. But I'm a motorcycle rider and absolutely love motorcycles, everything that goes with them. But at the same time, do it properly, do it legally. Make sure that you get a course under your belt as well for your own safety. Makes a big difference. Alex says, what's the worst speeding you've ever seen? Oh, I don't know. I can't think of what my top speed stopped for, but lots of stunt driving charges that I've laid. We've had many that are well over 200 kilometers an hour. Me personally, I can't think of the number, but I've had lots of high flyers. No place for front plate, where to put it. Zip tie it to the front grill. You can get a what's it called? Loss of words. It's called a tow hook adapter. That's a great way to go. Nothing says it has to be in the middle of the front grille. Nothing says that it can't be in the tow hook adapter. It has to be in a conspicuous place on the front of the vehicle, and behind the windshield is not appropriate, not legal. It's a $110 fine. Not to mention that if you get involved in a collision, that license plate suddenly becomes, like a ninja star, and you could be very injured. So don't do it. Avoid the ticket and the potential injury. How you doing? We're sitting at the, I should let everybody who know. By the way, if you're watching this and you don't follow us, follow us. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service. Right now I'm standing in the common area at Centennial College at the Morningside campus. We're talking about traffic safety and traffic law and police stuff in general. We're also hiring. If you're interested in becoming a police officer, know that we are taking applications, tps.ca/careers to get more information. But we're also hiring for parking enforcement and all sorts of other jobs. We're a great place to work. Here we have booths. We have met people from Paragon Security. We got the local division. We have TTC. I think we have another, the campus police. But we have all sorts of people here, and we're all talking about traffic safety. We want to make sure that people, whether you're walking, riding, or driving, are doing it safely and get to go home every day to the people that you love and that love you. So, yeah, we want you to get to where you're going safe. We also want to avoid having you get charged under the Highway Traffic Act or Criminal Code, for that matter, for doing something you just didn't realize were illegal. There's a lot of confusing stuff out there when it comes to traffic safety and traffic law, and we try and explain everything just so you have an easier go at it. So, question here from Musclemen's. Is it Musclemen's? Musclemen's, right? Okay, I'm not going to read the whole name. Can I put LED lights on my headlights? LED lights, if you're projecting anything other than white or yellow, would be illegal. You can only have four illuminated projectors forward. If it's an accent light like halos, some officers are going to interpret that as projecting light forward, at which point you get charged $110 for improper headlights. Others may not consider it a violation. But technically speaking, you cannot project anything other than white or yellow. Do you know anybody from, is it Kilolo? I don't know how to pronounce that even. And based on that, no, I don't know anybody from that OPP unit, or at least I don't think I do. But based on the fact that I can't even pronounce the unit name, I'm going to say no. What's my routine before I sleep at night? Shanice wants to know. Generally, it's answering TikTok questions in the comments, because I do that from the time I wake up till the time I go to bed. I'm TikTok 24/7. What do I have to do to become a police officer? Well, you have to join. First of all, you have to apply. You have to get your ACP certificate. But all the information you've ever wanted to know and more can be found at tps.ca/careers. Did I bring water? I didn't bring water. Why would I bring water? I need water. What is the age limit to be hired? There is no age limit. In fact, you can work now beyond the age of 65. It used to be 18 to 65. That's been lifted. And now you can apply. And the average person historically was getting hired at 30. But we have people who are now getting hired much younger. But 18 is the minimum age to apply. What's the best way to legally defend yourself from assault? Honest to goodness, the best way is to run. Engaging in fighting, if you're not a trained fighter, is not the best option. The best option is to run. Police officers don't get that opportunity. We actually have to engage, and learning how to fight is really important. So taking martial arts and self-defense classes is something that I would totally endorse, and I want my children to become, pint-sized ninjas. I want them to be able to handle themselves. And at that point, when you're being assaulted, you can use as much force as necessary to defend yourself. But ideally, avoid the situation. And if you're in an abusive situation, get help. It's not something you have to fight on your own. Get help. I don't mean call your brother or your neighbor. I mean call police. Can you have underglow on your car? Well, there's no specific underglow law, but there are headlight laws and regulations. There's taillight laws and regulations and so on. So if you have poorly installed underglow where the bulbs are visible and pointing in directions, making the bulbs visible in any direction, it could be violating the rules. You could get tickets for improper headlights, improper taillights. It's $110 for each one of those. And underglow, is it coming back? Because that was like the 80s for me. What do you think? CJ, do you think underglow still cool? What is underglow? It's a disco party in your car, yeah. No, you know, it used to really low cars with skirts used to look like they were floating because of it. It was kind of like Back to the Future-ish. But now it's kind of like not cool anymore. I don't know. Okay. If two cars are speeding, which one gets a ticket? One or both? I've talked to Sergeant Campbell about it. He says the winner gets the ticket, so whoever's going fastest. But it really depends on the officer, and I've very often pulled over multiple vehicles. Because if you're both speeding, we've established that. It's just a matter of the exact speed. If I was pacing you, maybe I'll pull you both over. But generally speaking, it's the person who's in front, unless they decide to do the person who's in back. So there's no rhyme or reason for it. Don't speed. That's the real answer. Can you get arrested for driving without a license? You can get arrested for a lot of things. Not having a license isn't one of them. Suspended license or driving while disqualified could get you arrested. But generally speaking, just not having a license isn't arrestable. It is chargeable under the Highway Traffic Act, though. Can cops legally use their lights with no reason? So what do you mean no reason? Because we can activate our lights for any lawful reason, but no reason means like just because I want to drive with flashing lights on. So technically, yeah, we could just turn the lights on for any reason, but I don't know why anyone would do that. Now, can we exceed the speed limit for no reason? Well, we can go above the speed limit without our lights on. For any lawful reason. If I'm going to speed up to see what you're doing in your car, I may have to exceed the speed limit to do that. So yeah, I can exceed the speed limit. Can I go through an intersection on a red for any lawful reason? I got to get to the other side. There's a lot of traffic. Yeah. Going to Timmy's. Timmy's is upstairs. I need to get some more Timmy's because I'm getting thirsty. This talking business makes me thirsty. What are the grooming standards for beards? I believe it's no more than... Sarge, is it no more than 2 inches for a beard? What's the rules for beards? The question of how long can your beard grow? 2 centimeters, not 2 inches. Okay. If it's a religious beard, it can be longer. So 2 centimeters. See, I was going all American with 2. I knew it was 2. So yeah, so there you go. 2 centimeters from the face. Unless it's for religious purposes, then it can be long. Because we have members who are Sikhs who have longer beards. Can I put police lights on top of my car? No, police lights being red and blue, you can't use them. Could you mount them? Potentially, but then are you impersonating a police officer? There's questions as to whether or not that can be done. I say no. There's movie cars that get transported. They usually cover them for that purpose to avoid having problems. But there's no thou shalt not put lights on and not use them law. There is a law against having intermittent flashes of red light emitting from your vehicle. That's different. How should I apply for a police job? I just don't know how. Go to www.tps.ca/careers. And there is a career day that the OACP is hosting. It is the OACP that's hosting the career day, right? There's a big event coming up. And I will post a video later today, if not tomorrow, all about that event, promoting that event. So follow us and check back soon. I'll post some information. You can also get us in our in our what's it called? It's called a link tree. Yeah, and it's inside of the bio business that we have, and on there is our Twitter. I believe we've been retweeting about that as well. Why do cops bother cars with mods? We bother cars, or the drivers of those cars, or motor vehicles, who have violated the Highway Traffic Act or regulations by illegally modifying a vehicle. There's rules. We enforce those rules. We're the police. So if you do something that's illegal, expect the police to hold you accountable and give you a ticket. That's just sort of how it goes. If you have a vehicle that's modified but legally modified, you should likely never hear from us. Is there rules against flashing light bar at a car? Flashing light bar at a car? Do you mean having police lights on a car, red lights at a car, flashing your high beams at a car? What kind of light bar are we talking about? OPP are more stubborn than city police. Do I agree? I don't know. I think we're all the same. Can you have face tats as a police officer? I think as long as it's not offensive, you can have it. I'm not aware of a rule about face tattoos. Sarge, do you know if you can have a face tattoo as a police officer? Oh, Sarge says she doesn't believe that you can, but I don't know. Because my understanding is as long as it's not offensive, tattoos are not, but I've never seen anybody with face tattoos. But, yeah, I don't know either. It's a good question. Yes, Amit Kumar. You can write to Amit Kumar from the recruiting unit and ask him all about face tattoos. He is happy to help you. Can you drive underage in a controlled environment? Well, legally, to drive on the road, you must be 16 and you must have a license. If you have a license like a learner's permit, you must be supervised by a qualified driver who has their full G and 4 years experience. Now, when you say in a controlled environment, if you had no license and were operating a motor vehicle on private property, well, we can't write you a ticket for that. But if you get into a collision, you have no insurance. And I imagine that's going to be a bad day at the office for anyone who let you do that. Can you really get a DUI on a bike? Yes. Well, here's the deal. Under the Criminal Code of Canada, a motor vehicle is anything other than muscular powers. So if you are operating a vehicle, a motor vehicle, under that definition, then you can be. Now, recently there's been some case law. That was with a canoe. Canoe, you may notice, has no engine, no motor, but it is a conveyance. But so is a bicycle. So it is entirely possible that a charge could be laid in relation to impaired operation. Now, let's back it up. Bicycle being a pedal bike, generally speaking, we would say no. But because of the new case findings, it may be possible, it's just not tested. Generally speaking, e-bike, yes. Pedal bike, no. In terms of would you get arrested for a DUI. So there you have it. If you got more questions, feel free to ask on that because we can talk more about it. But I'm going to move on. Do G1 drivers require insurance to drive? They are being supervised by a licensed driver in a vehicle that has insurance. They themselves, generally, according to most insurance companies, don't need to be listed on the policy until such time as they have a G2. Once you're a G2, you're capable of driving on your own, and the insurance company will require you to be on the policy unless they give you other kind of out. You call your insurance company, they may deal with it differently. Can TPS display and wear thin blue line flags? We do not wear thin blue line flags. Only approved stuff can be worn on the uniform, and that flag is not part of approved accoutrement. What is this? I'm stopped at a red light and my cell phone rings. Can I answer it? No. Well, that's not true. You can't hold your phone. You can, however, if it's mounted and on Bluetooth or speakerphone, press one button to answer or hang up. That's the limit of the contact you can have with your phone. But as soon as you pick it up, you're using it. That's against the law. Poppy says, permit. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe that's a continuation of another question. Can you get a DUI driving a boat? Absolutely. You can get a DUI when you are captaining or navigating a boat. What are you doing with a boat? Do you operate a boat, navigate a boat, captain a boat? I don't know. Hey, if you're watching and you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service. I go live on social media answering your traffic and police questions pretty much every day. It's that thing we do because we want to give back to you. If you don't follow us, please do, because then you get notified when we go live, and we do that, generally speaking, Monday to Friday from 10 to 11. Today we're on location at the Centennial College Morningside campus. We're talking to students, we're talking to faculty, we're talking to anybody who shows up at this table, and we also have a whole bunch of swag here. Whistles, flashlights, lanyards, oh, so much stuff. Does the 4 years begin when you get a G2 or a G? The 4 years of experience that's required to supervise a G1 driver starts when you get your G2. But you cannot actually supervise until you've had a total of 4 years as a G driver. Let's say you have 4 years as a G2 driver, get your G. You still qualify now that once you have the G and 4 years experience. That said, wait till you have four dots arranged vertically to the left of the mini-me photo in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. What is this? Can Drake? There's so many questions about Drake. I need to understand what is the meme or spiel all around Drake, because people want to know about Drake driving permits, Drake licenses. Yeah, fill me in. He lives in Toronto. I'm sure he has a license. I haven't checked, but if he has a license, he can drive, and if he doesn't have a license, he can't drive. And I don't think he drives his own car because he has a driver more often than not. How many people do you arrest for the quota? There's no quota. We arrest people who break the law. We give tickets to people who break the law. There's no quota. We catch it we catch it. We don't, we don't. I meant floodlight on a car. Well, floodlights aren't permitted except off-road. What is this? I'd like to fight it. I didn't think I was that fast. You are entitled to defend yourself in court if you think you are not someone who should have been ticketed. You are eligible to challenge it. If you think that whatever you were speeding wasn't fast enough to deserve a ticket, well, that's, again, maybe not something you'll win, but you're welcome to take it to court and waste your time. If you think that you were unfairly, unjustified, or inaccurately measured, that's a different story. Then you could take it to court, but you have to bring evidence. You can't just say, I don't think I was going that fast. That's not a defense in court. Defense means I have evidence to provide that will exonerate myself. So just saying I don't think I was going that fast, good luck. I think you'd be wasting your time, but that's just me. Because when I write a ticket to somebody, I've observed them going a speed. I've watched them passing traffic. I have video and or evidence to provide. I've used a laser or radar device to measure the speed. I'm not just saying I think you were speeding. That's not how I roll. That's not how any of my colleagues roll. Is it illegal to have a sticker on a windshield? Well, if it blocks any part of your view, then yes. So I would say that if the sticker is placed anywhere that your windshield wipers wipe, it's against the law. How's it going? I don't know. This is where the Toronto Police Traffic Services Unit. We're talking about traffic safety. We got whistles. We had some phone pop sockets. We had stuff. We're giving away swag. We're also on TikTok talking to people. Okay. What's the gun law in your state? Well, we are not in the States. We're in the province of Ontario, in the country called Canada. We're in the city called Toronto. We're the Toronto Police Traffic Services Unit. And the gun law is that you cannot carry firearms here unless you're the police or you're an armed guard. Or I imagine if you're someone in the military who's active that's being deployed in some way. But generally speaking, I don't see military officials, unless they're military police, operating with firearms anywhere. So that's it for guns and carrying them. In terms of having a possession acquisition license for either restricted or non-restricted firearms, that's for hunting or target practice only. Live, Laugh, Love says, how many bad cops have you dealt with? I know lots of cops I don't like because I don't like everybody. Actually, that's not true. I like most people. But no, I've met people that I don't get along with, but bad cops suggest criminal, and I've not met any of those. That's not true. I've read news articles about some really bad people who are no longer police officers, because when you get caught, we actually deal with you. We don't just let it go. There's no covering up for people. We actually prosecute them. We have an entire unit dedicated to policing the police. We also have civilian oversight. Do cops get promotions based on arrests or tickets? No. Performance? No. What do they get promoted on? You apply, you test, and then you interview, and based on that, you can get promoted. Also, what your track record of what you've done on the service helps you, but it's not solely based on, I got 1,000 tickets, boom, boom, I get a pay increase or a ranking. It doesn't work that way. It would be nice, because I would have been promoted a lot based on just ticket writing, but it doesn't happen. Can you put your hands on someone? What do you mean? Do you mean, like, can you, gaming lab, put your hands on somebody? Well, if you do that and it's unwanted, that's assault. So no. Can I, as a police officer, put my hands on you? Well, if I'm arresting you, I can. But just touching you for no reason isn't necessarily going to be permissible. There's likely going to be assault, too. Unwanted touching of any kind is assault. In Canada, what cars do you use in the police? Well, we have, as our primary response vehicle, we are using something called a Ford Explorer. I don't know where you are in the world, and I don't know if those are available or called the same thing where you are. But here it's a Ford Explorer. It's an SUV. We have some Dodge Chargers, very few of them, mind you, and I think they're discontinued, so we won't be getting any more. We used to have Crown Victorias. They were the best in the business as far as I'm concerned. They are discontinued, and we don't have any more. We had Ford Tauruses. Hey, they're discontinued, so who knows what's happening next. Can I drive with an expired license? No, it's expired. That means you don't have a license. Go renew it. If you get ticketed with an expired license, it's driving without a license, and you actually get a charge. I think it's $350 for driving without a license. Don't let it. Don't fail to renew. It's not worth it. You're also not insured when you have no license. You get into a collision, you'll be paying out of pocket for the rest of your life. What's the worst criminal you've dealt with? I've dealt with all sorts of criminals. I used to be a court officer. I dealt with murderers and thugs and people who were involved in the sexual assault and everything under the sun, because police officers arrested them and brought them to the courts, and I dealt with them when they got to the courts. Now, when it comes to what kind of criminals have I dealt with on the road, I've dealt with all sorts of things, but I am now a traffic officer, and primarily what I deal with are people who are impaired, driving aggressively, stunt driving. In fact, I'm not even on the road anymore. So I'm mostly dealing with people who are asking me questions on TikTok like you. And you're not a criminal, right? Why do OPP not have to wear body cameras? I don't know. Every police service determines their own rules and regulations. Toronto Police has adopted body cams because we acknowledge that we want to have that wonderful evidence created by a body camera to protect us. We want to protect ourselves with that footage. Where people are making allegations against the police, we have that wonderful evidence to exonerate ourselves. So we like it. And in terms of why they don't have it, maybe it's just they're a big service and they don't have the infrastructure to support it, but I'm not involved with that decision-making process. Have you ever watched Rookie Blue? Is it accurate? Yes, I watched it. It's horribly inaccurate, but it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed the show, and it was filmed in Toronto. Somebody wants to know on my thoughts on someone named Basil. I have no idea who that is. Somebody wants to know what song is my dance song. Yeah, I don't know what that is. That was Shanice asking. I'm in Quebec. Are the laws the same in Quebec? No. Every province has its own laws. They are not the same. But it's a good question. Can someone who smokes vape become a cop? Yes. Now, hopefully you don't develop popcorn lungs. I understand that that's a byproduct of vaping, but just because you vape does not preclude you from becoming a police officer. You have to be able to meet the physical requirements. Okay. What have we got here? Is it illegal? What is it? Is it illegal? Is my car dropped on the floor? If your vehicle is on the floor, you're obviously not safe to operate. If your vehicle is so low that you're getting body rub, body contact with the tire, frame contact with the tire, if your suspension is non-functional, that's all unsafe. We'll pull your plates, and then you can get towed home. So yeah, it's illegal. There's a bunch of reasons why. Even your headlights are too close to the ground, it's illegal. Regulations, my friend. Regulations. How would you deal with Jeffrey Dahmer? Isn't he dead? I don't think I have to. If a car is undercover, does it still have a siren? Undercover cars are different than police cars that are plainclothes or unmarked. Unmarked cars have lights and sirens most often. Detective cars all have them now, but older cars just had a flashing light and no siren, at least in our service. Now they all have everything. If it's undercover, it means we're not telling you we're police and then there's no siren because we're not pulling you over. We're undercover. We don't want to break our cover by pulling you over. Is playing loud music while driving illegal? As a matter of fact, it is. It's called unnecessary noise, and it's the same charge we'd lay for a loud muffler, honking your horn for no reason, creating unnecessary noise, something that isn't related to the safe operation of your motor vehicle. Boom, ticket, $110. Hey, 1,500 people watching right now. Welcome. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service. I go live on social media Monday to Friday, and you should follow our channel because we talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff all the time. If you've got questions, we answer them. That's what we do here. Now, today we're just on TikTok, but normally we're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, the whole business, even Twitch. And thank you for all the likes. Lots of likes coming in. And if you wouldn't mind, share with everybody you know. Follow, share, you know the business. Is it illegal to have a big old turbo on my car? No, you can have a big old turbo, a little turbo. You can buy a car. My truck has 2 turbos. So turbo's not illegal. It obviously has to meet the requirements for both. Take a whistle, have a whistle. Take a flashlight too. We have students coming by. We're at Centennial College, by the way, in the common area. We're talking to students, and I'm talking to you about traffic safety and police stuff. That's what we do. So yeah, turbo not illegal. Obviously, still have to deal with environmental requirements. Is it illegal to delete my muffler but able to get it removed? It's illegal. You have to have a muffler. You have to have a resonator. You have to have a proper working exhaust system in a motor vehicle to operate on the road if that vehicle was manufactured with one. If it was built in the 70s, you might need a smog pump, but you may not need a muffler. That's going to depend on what your VIN number is registered to. A lot of people like to buy old cars because they don't require mufflers, but you still have to have whatever came with the car. What sidearm do I use? Well, if you mean globally for the Toronto Police Service, we are issued Glock 22s. Those are caliber, 40 caliber Smith & Wesson, or they're Glocks that use a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson round. It's a full-size firearm. I need more water. Oh, Perky Perk. I love it. They found my what is it called? That's just what do we do here? Oh, block. There we go. Perky Perk thinks that I blocked him. What's that? Oh, yeah. You know what? I actually don't. I think the pig icon is really cute. I don't know why they think it's offensive, but since people get annoyed by those who are spamming the chat, I block them. Okay, so yeah, so Glocks now. So 40 cal is whatever. Our ETF actually uses 9mm, and they use other. We have MP. What are they called? C8s for the long guns, shotguns, and MP5s for the ETF. They have a whole bunch of stuff that we don't use. Can you smoke in your car with your 16-year-old? Yes. Under 16, no. So you can't smoke. But why would you want to smoke in your car and poison them? Smoking, not cool. I smoked when I was in high school. I don't know how I ever smoked, but you cannot smoke. Under the Smoke-Free Ontario Act, you cannot smoke in a car with a child under the age of 16. Can't even vape. What is this? Do you have to renew the actual plates? So in Ontario, you no longer need to put stickers, validation stickers, and you don't have to pay, but you must renew online. It's free, 1 or 2 years, and that's for most vehicles under 3,000 kilos. Is it 3,000 kilos or pounds? Hell, I don't remember. But you renew for free, and do it. Is it illegal to carry or use dog repellent in Canada? So you're allowed to have dog repellent if it's manufactured as dog repellent. You can, in fact, use it against animals. You cannot use it against humans. You'll be charged for assault with a weapon. Now, people will say, well, I carry it because you never know. Well, if you never know, you might get charged for it, and you might find yourself defending yourself in court for, why you sprayed someone, even if they were assaulting you, using a weapon of opportunity. But you have to defend it. You have to articulate it. So legally carrying it, yes, but using it against animals, yes. Using it against people, you'll be charged with assault. Is it illegal to drift every corner in the winter? Absolutely, it's illegal. It's stunt driving. We'll take your license. We'll take your car. You lose your license for 30 days. You lose your car for 14. Your insurance goes through the roof. And on conviction, you get 1 to 3 years suspension, a $2,000 to $10,000 fine, and up to 6 months in jail. So don't drift every corner. Okay, XK? What does driving without a permit mean on a ticket? Driving without a permit? Fail to surrender permit? Means you didn't surrender your ownership. But I don't know what else it could mean, what jurisdiction you're in, what might be the rules and laws in your area. What are the laws for LED light bars on trucks? LED light bars on trucks are not generally going to be rated for the road, which means you can't use them when you're driving, off-road only. You're allowed to have up to 4 headlights, 4 yellow or white, well, any combination thereof, headlights. It's the only color you can project forward. You can only have a maximum of 4. So there's arguments. Is an LED light bar with 5,000 bulbs 5,000 lights? Because that's more than 4, which would make it illegal. Also, they're not directed and aimable the way, and focusable the way they are with the a proper projector bulb. So they're illegal for the road. How do you pull over 2 cars at once? Depends. Depends if you're on the road, if you're pulling them over from behind, if you're a single car, a double car. It really depends. It can be done, but it's not often done. Can you get a DUI on a mobility scooter? Yes, you can. Mobility scooters. The only thing that is exempt from DUI is going to be a wheelchair, because in a wheelchair you're considered to be a pedestrian. On a mobility scooter you are not, and you are driving a motor vehicle, and you could be charged and arrested for impaired operation. Can you have a green light on your car? Only if you're a volunteer firefighter. Wait, are you talking about flashing light to the front? A volunteer firefighter. If you are green light, like it's an accent bulb, depends where you're placing it, what direction it's facing. Can't have it facing forward. Can't have it facing sideways. Possibly a low glow, underglow. Still, I would avoid green. Green, red, or blue, bad, because they're reserved. And 1.6 thousand people in the chat. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service, and I go on social media.
answer your traffic and police questions, talk about the stuff you need to know. We're here every day for you, Monday to Friday. Well, I guess that's not every day, is it? But if you don't already follow us, please do. We're here for you all the time. We want to give you access to police, access to information. We want to help dispel the rumors and myths that get people in trouble. Obviously, if people choose to break the law, we can't do anything about that except catch them and ticket them. But our goal isn't to ticket everybody. We want to change the hearts and minds of people so they can be safer, get them where they want to go every day safe and sound. We see far too many people getting hurt, especially those vulnerable road users who get hurt because somebody made a bad decision behind the wheel. So we want to help make it safer for everybody, and that's the goal. That's my goal every day, and I hope you'll come with for the ride. So follow us if you don't follow us, and of course, ask us your questions. That's what we're here for. Hillary wants to know if I know Jason. I don't know. CJ, do you know Jason? Everyone wants to know if I know Jason. No. Hillary wants to know if we know Jason. I don't know. There's a lot of Jasons. Jason who? Jason. I was watching Silver Spoons. Jason Bateman is on Silver Spoons. Do you know what Silver Spoons is? Like 1981 to like 87 was Silver Spoons, and I just started watching that with my kids. And I couldn't believe it was Jason Bateman. Okay. Why do cops get to break the laws when they want to? Well, we don't get to break laws that we want to. We're exempt from certain laws in order to allow us to do what we have to do as police officers. So what does that mean? It means we can exceed the speed limit because we need to. It means we can go through intersections when it's a red light when we need to. And we're lawfully doing it because it's written into law. If it wasn't part of the law, we couldn't do it. So, yeah, that's the deal. And the reason you can't do it is because, well, you're not a police officer. Can you become a police officer with minor priors? You have to get a pardon. You have to get a pardon. But, talk to Amit Kumar from our recruiting area. You can get tps.ca/careers, get all the information you want to know about becoming an officer. We are, checking my batteries on my microphone, we are hiring. So if you're interested, find out. If you can get a pardon, you might be a candidate for policing. It has to be very minor, and it will be a case-by-case basis. It's not a blanket statement. Can you drive a car if you're not on the insurance? So you want to borrow mom's car? If you live with mom, you'll have to be on the insurance according to most insurance companies. Legally, from a policing perspective, nothing against the law about it. As long as you have a proper license, then you can do it. If you are borrowing a friend's car and you don't live with them, then they can allow you to borrow it now and again, but without being on the insurance. But they should talk to the insurance company first. Also, if you're going to if you're going to loan a car out, make sure the person you're loaning it actually has a license. You are responsible. If you give your car to someone who's not licensed, you can be charged under the Highway Traffic Act for making that possible. And if you go to my link tree, which is in the bio, excuse me, I have a link where you can actually punch in someone's driver's license and some information and verify if their license is valid, because maybe they were suspended. Maybe they show you the card and they say, "Oh, I got here's my license right here," and then bad things happen. Be very wary about loaning your vehicle out. Jason told me he loves being a cop. Do you also? Of course I do. My childhood dream realized was becoming a police officer, and becoming a motorcycle officer was by far the best thing in the world, and that's what I love doing. I get up every morning at 4:30 in the morning with a smile on my face because I love to come to work. Helping people is what I do, and I'm very passionate about that. What kind of schooling do you need to be a police officer? Well, you have to meet the requirements, which is grade 12. That's the minimum requirements. The more schooling, the better. We suggest a lifetime of learning, because that doesn't stop when you become a police officer. We are constantly taking courses and developing. And some people take university. Some people get their doctorates while they're working as a police officer. They do it part-time. So what's the schooling required? Grade 12, but the more education, the better. Continuous education and employment and volunteering. That's the kind of stuff you need to do. Check out tps.ca/careers for more information. Yes, I should have planned better. Wait, maybe I have coffee left over here. Oh, I have some coffee left over here. I can have a little Timmy's here. Cold Timmy's, but it's still Timmy's. Ah, yes, much better. You don't know how much talking dries you out. Really, it's a lot of talking. I barely stopped my lips from moving for the entire, I don't know how long we've been doing this, an hour so far? A lot of talking going on here. What do I do if someone won't give my property back? Well, it depends on what conditions they're taking it. If they've taken it, it's stolen, call the police. Theft. If it's something where you've loaned it to them and they won't return it, it's civil. You might have to sue them for it. It depends. It really depends. Depends on the value, the circumstances in which you gave it to them. Okay, can you vape nicotine and drive? Can you vape and drive? The answer is yes. nicotine specifically, as long as you have no one under the age of 16 in your motor vehicle, and as long as it doesn't interrupt your ability to safely operate a motor vehicle. Is Canada putting speed traps on kids' backpacks? I don't know the joke there, but it sounds entertaining. To become a police officer, do you get sprayed or tased? Well, we all get exposed to pepper spray. In terms of tased, I volunteered. They wouldn't do it. Apparently, they don't do that anymore. In the beginning, they were tasing people. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Hey, almost 2,000 people. We've had over 2,000 people in here, and I want to give you an idea of what's going on in the background here. Let me flip the screen. Come on, how do I flip the screen? Flip the screen. Flip camera. There we go. So you get a nice picture of my tripod. Hang on. So just to see what's going on here, we have the common area here. Nothing common about it, but lots of people who are studying and doing stuff and things. And they're probably not realizing they're on camera, so I'm going to take them off. Because why do they want to be on camera? They don't want to be on camera. Okay. We'll get back into here. Am I allowed to carry dog spray in Toronto? Oh, I've had a ton of issue with coyotes. You are allowed to carry dog spray. You're not allowed to use it on humans, but you're allowed to carry it. Well, Q&A is not updating. Let me see what's left here in the Q&A. If you could have lived anywhere, where would it be? I am in the best place in the world. I'm in Toronto, Canada. It's where I grew up. It's where I was born and raised, and it's probably where I'll be buried. So, yeah, no, I'm right where I want to be. If you've never been to Toronto, it's a great place to visit. It's a great place to live. What happens if a cop sees a teen smoking? If they think they're a teenager and if they're violating a law, they might investigate. They may charge them. It is against the law. Certainly against the law to buy it. Consuming nicotine products as a child. What's do we arrest them and throw them in the clink? Oh, somebody's calling me a bootlicker. Well, 10 speeder. I appreciate your concern for my well-being and safety, and bye, we won't see you again. Okay. All these people who get mean and nasty boot, they're so rude. If I only had feelings, I might be offended. Are lightly tinted taillights illegal? Well, it depends on who you ask. It's going to be some interpretation. The law says it must be discernible at 150 meters, if I'm not mistaken. And the deal is that if it's not discernible, if it doesn't function the way it's supposed to, it's an improper headlight or taillight. Or headlights, the same thing. Actually, headlights are very specific. You can't put anything on there. The taillights simply say that it have to be discernible at a certain distance. So what I'm getting at is you might get a ticket for it, you might not, but at the end of the day, you might cause the collision that you're involved in. And when you're rear-ended, it's usually the person who rear-ends you who's entirely at fault. However, if we have evidence that you have changed the functional ability of your taillights, you may be charged as well, and you may be held more responsible for that event by your insurance company. Does Ontario have a no-chase policy? No, it does not. Chases happen. Public safety is always the priority, though. What's the biggest difference between U.S. and Canadian police? The country they police. It's the biggest difference. Some of them are in the United States, and others are in Canada. No, you know what? We're all people helping people. We do it a little differently. Laws change differently, but at the end of the day, we're all doing the same thing. We're all trying to keep our communities safe so that people can live, work, and play, and know that they can get to wherever they're going every day. J. Dot wants to know if you can legally carry a switchblade. Well, in Canada, the answer is no. In some states, you can if you have military service or if you have one arm. But in Canada specifically, it's a prohibited device. Just possession of it, even not being carried in public, is a criminal code offense. Do you chase sport bikes? If they run, yeah, depends on what's going on. But everybody is going to handle every situation differently. Chasing sport bikes usually means that the sport bike dum-dum is going to crash and die, which is obviously not good. OPP very often, if you look at the history of in the news, you'll see a lot of motorcycle chases that resulted in the driver or the rider who ran crashing and getting severely injured or dying. It's something that we don't want to instigate a situation. Even if you're a dum-dum who runs for police, we don't want you to die. But we'd much prefer just meeting you at your house to arrest you later. That's usually what happens. How loud can an exhaust be? According to standards, for a motorcycle, well, it depends on what you're talking about. 74 decibels to install and be legit. If you're talking about, you're watching me right now. You don't want to say hello to yourself on your no, you're good. So 74 decibels is going to be 74 decibels for a car. 92 decibels is the bylaw in Toronto for having how loud you can be. Two different things, HTA versus the bylaw in Toronto. But at the end of the day, anything that's unnecessary is going to be a ticket for unnecessary noise. And you can have a stock Honda Civic and get a ticket for unnecessary noise. You can be charged for unnecessary noise for a loud stereo. It doesn't take a lot to annoy your neighbors and result in a ticket. And I mean annoy your neighbors being, if I am the police officer who's observing it, I'm watching people and I can feel the bass in my chest, or I can your windows are vibrating because your music's on too loud, or you're honking unnecessarily, or if your exhaust is annoying, then yeah, you're getting a ticket. Why haven't you done anything about mace and teens? Do you mean mace like the stick with a ball on the end of it that's swinging around on a chain? That's a mace. Or is it a ball or a spike? We're talking medieval weaponry, or are you talking about a chemical that is prohibited in Canada? Mace is not permitted. Mace actually has, what is it? What does mace have? It's not pepper spray. It actually has an active CS tear gas or some other combination. It's a chemical irritant, and it's absolutely prohibited in Canada. So happy that I found that little drop of coffee. XK wants to know about cheese. He likes cheese. Okay. So the question of, back to switchblades. No, you cannot own a switchblade in Canada. It's a prohibited device. Simple possession of a switchblade in Canada is a criminal offense. It's a criminal offense. Why are you on TikTok and not protecting me? Because I am educating you. Yeah, I'm not a person who drives a car anymore. I'm not a person on the road. I don't go on patrol. I'm a media relations and educating officer. I'm an administrative officer. So I am protecting you, but I'm doing it through education. Yes. If you're new to the channel, my name is Sean Shapiro. I do this Monday to Friday from 10 to 11 normally, but we're on location right now, standing in the common area of Centennial College. We are talking about traffic safety, traffic stuff and things, and we do that because we want to help you out. That's all it's about. So if you don't already follow us, please do. We'd love to have you in the family as a follower. And, then we'll be able to answer more questions real soon. Oh, it's talking. Too much talking. What's my biggest arrest? I don't know. The big arrests tend to be people in teams, the big stuff. I've not been involved in any of that. Oh, PK says I talk too much. Thanks, PK. It's true. I make a living by talking. But big arrests, I don't know. I'm a traffic guy, so big arrests for me, impaired. And what's a big arrest? It's not about big. Mind you, I don't arrest anybody anymore. Jackie wants to know if I think it's funny that they've done horrible stuff. No, I don't think doing horrible stuff is funny. I think that if you do bad stuff, you should be arrested for it. You should be held responsible for it. But Jackie, thank you for letting everybody know that you do horrible stuff. They can be, on the lookout for you. Okay. And they can mute this person. What are you doing here? We're going to wrap it up real soon, but I can, now Zach is, now we're into silly question time, I'm assuming. Once in a while, we lose the path and people start asking ridiculous questions. So, I want to thank you for spending time with us. And, we'll be back again soon, but I'm gonna close it up. Oh, no, wait. We got more questions that are real. Is it hard to get into Canada? You go through the border, and when you go through the border, you get here. But is it hard? In terms of immigration, I don't know. I was born here, so I couldn't give you any advice in that one. My thoughts on the big mess on Diwali. Do you mean the fireworks? I wasn't involved. I saw some stuff on the news. I don't know the details of what went on or what you're getting at. What do you think about the criminal justice system? It's a system that relies on people doing the right thing. Now, yes, criminals do the wrong thing, but we need people to support the police. We need people to support the courts. We need people to speak up when things are going wrong. We need people to speak up in the communities. And it's a team thing. Police aren't the police to do everything for you. We're part of the community that's trying to make things safer for everyone. But it's a team sport. Is a quick release steering wheel illegal? Yes, it's illegal to have a quick release steering wheel. It's also illegal to remove an airbag if you have one on your vehicle. So if you have an old vehicle and you want to replace it with an aftermarket, you can do it. Not a quick release steering wheel. That's one that you push a button and you can take it off. That's intended for a race car, for off-road vehicles. Off-road, not necessarily off-road, but track or off-road. And they're really only intended so that you can get into a cockpit that is, or a driver compartment that is smaller than and has no doors. Like you have to climb out, and the steering wheel has to be removed to allow you to do that. Passenger vehicles on the road, there's no place for that. Do you know what happened in Angus yesterday or the other day? I do not know. I am sorry. I wish I knew information about it, but I don't. But what if the people doing the right thing don't? What? Oh, I'm not sure the context of your follow-up on that. Too much talking. What's the requirements to become a police officer in Toronto? Well, or in Canada, I should say. The requirements are listed on our website, www.cps.ca/careers. All the information you'd ever want to know and more are there. We're currently hiring. The basics, you got to have a full G license. You have to be at least 18 years old. You have to have at least a grade 12 education. And be capable of performing the duties of a police officer safely. You have to be in physical health. You have to have good mental health. You have to pass a psychological test. There's a bunch of things that go into it, but all the information are listed on the website. You can also contact Amit Kumar, who is a recruiting officer. He is a guy who used to work with me in the motor squad, and he has all the answers, even more than I have. So talk to him. He'd love to help you out. How much do cops pull over for 5 over? How much do cops pull over for 5-0? So the question is, how much speeding can you get away with before we pull you over? The answer is you're never going to know. And I mean that because every officer is entirely different. Some officers are going to charge you for 5 over. Some will say 10 over. Some are lazy. They'll say 20 over. Or they only want the really bad guys. My thing is I pull everybody over because I want everyone to correct their behavior. If I let you get away with 5, that's the new unofficial speed limit. Then I got to wait till someone goes to 10 over before I pull them over? Baloney. I'll pull you over when you're breaking the law. Now, if there's 2 people, one's going considerably faster, obviously that's the person I'm going to focus on. But at the end of the day, don't speed. Speed kills. And people argue with me all day and all night about speed killing. Fact is, it increases the level of injury, the level of damage when a collision occurs. It reduces the chances of survival when you get into a collision with a pedestrian or vulnerable road user. Speeding is a major problem. And we've lost way too many lives on our roads this year alone. And usually, and this is a really interesting fact in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, that when people get upset about gun violence, they get upset about people getting killed in homicides, and you consider the fact that our road deaths are so close to our gun violence deaths and murder deaths, that why is nobody upset about that? Why is nobody upset about road death? They're just upset about gun death. Well, gun death, that's horrible. But it's no less horrible when people die in a motor vehicle collision, usually because somebody's chosen to do something like speeding, aggressive driving, distracted driving, or impaired driving. So I'm passionate about saving lives that way. Why? Because everyone's got to have a specialty. We got gun guys, I'm the car guy. Okay. Oh, PK's saying bad things. What is this? Okay. Is Drake actually a Canadian diplomat? I don't believe so. I think he's just a rapper. Is he a rapper or is he an artist? I don't know. I'm in trouble for having a spring. I don't know what that means. Okay. Is it illegal to have a radar detector? Yes. Possession of a radar detector in the province of Ontario is against the law. You can't have it. In fact, police have search and seizure authority if we believe you have one. So under the Highway Traffic Act, if we think you've got a radar detector or a jammer, we can pull you over, search your vehicle, disassemble your vehicle in the search of that device, and search all occupants of that vehicle. Some people said, well, if I put it in my pocket, you can't search me. You're wrong. I got to shut it down, not because of any other reason other than I'm losing my voice. But I like this. Got so many things. 1 second. Can police smoke marijuana? There's a period of time, like legally consuming marijuana, anyone in Canada can, as long as they're of the age to have that. But you can't do it when you're driving, and we drive every day, and there's a period of time that we can't be on the at work after having consumed it. I don't like it. I don't like the smell of it. I never have to worry about it, which is one of the reasons why I don't know how long you have to wait after consuming it before you can come to work. Is pacing equivalent to a detector? Do you mean speed measurement device? I can charge you based on pacing you, yes. All right. We're out of questions, and I'm out of voice. So it's been a blast. Thank you so much for spending time. We've got a ton of people here, so I'm going to speak to those that are in person in front of me. But if you don't already follow us because we do this all the time. I'll be back again tomorrow. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service, and I've been sitting with you while standing in the common area of Centennial College at Morningside campus. And, it's been awesome. So thank you for hanging out with us, and we'll be back tomorrow, sometime after 10 from a different campus, but still talking about cool stuff because I think this is cool. Thank you for spending time with us. We'll talk to you soon.